Hi, it's Z, and today I want to talk about practice. How do you practice? What's the best way to practice? How much time should you spend practicing? How do you master something? Okay, so something I see in all of my students, whether it's voice, whether it's piano, whether it's composition, whatever, is that people have the wrong idea about practice, okay? So human beings are always striving to meet their ideal expectations of something, whether it's their ideal expectation of time spent practicing or their ideal expectation of what it is to be, their person that they want to be. But we definitely create archetypes of good and evil, the archetypical bad version, the archetypical good version, okay? Now, this is very important because if we're always striving towards the ideals that we set, we have to then examine our ideals and see if those are actually healthy for what we're trying to do. So let's see here. What do you think is the ideal amount of practice time per day for something that you're trying to learn? Most people say anywhere between 25 minutes to an hour. Some people say 2 hours, 3 hours, right? But here's the thing. If you constantly think of practice as being this large block that you have to fit in your day in order to progress, you will very rarely practice or progress. Instead, you have to create a lifestyle in which practice is living, okay? So we all have an idle state, right? Like, if you text your friend and you say, hey, what's up? And they're like, oh, not much, nothing. They're not really doing nothing. They're doing something. They're idling. That to them, whatever they're doing, is their idle state, okay? So we're cruising along life, and then we have to work, right? Gotta go do our job. So we leave our idle state. We go and work. Then we come back to our idle state. And then we live life, right? And it's like, oh, well, now I have to cook food. You leave your idle state, unless cooking is your idle state. But so we're constantly trying to maximize our amount of cruising time through life, right? So it is crucial that instead we realize that practice has no time limit. Practice has no perfect amount of time. Practice is good whenever, okay? So you need to create and make your lifestyle, your idle state, involve your practice, So practicing doesn't feel like a chore. Practicing doesn't feel like something that you're forced to do or something that you dread doing or what's even worse, something that you procrastinate with, right? Because if you think it's a task, if you think you have to leave your idle state, what'll happen is you're idling and then you're like, okay, I need to practice. Well, maybe I should do a bunch of other stuff before I practice because you don't want to leave the idle state, okay? So I'm here to propose that even 2 minutes of practice time is amazing, okay? 3 minutes of practice time, you're incredible. 5 minutes, wow, you're a real go-getter, okay? It doesn't matter how much time you practice. It matters how frequently you practice. And so if you make your idle state intrexibly connect with the passion of your craft that you're doing, you will master that craft because you idle constantly. It's our favorite thing to do in the world. And so if you can push your craft into your idle state, you'll create this massive feedback process that allows you to progress much faster than if you're trying to treat it as a rigorous daily regimen. Okay? So those are my thoughts for today. Have a great rest of your weekend. Bye.